protests. People died in protests. So do you know that the issue in Kagiso about Zama Zamas has been going on since 2012? They've been talking about Zama Zamas and crime since 2012. There have been different campaigns. Have you ever heard about those campaigns until last week? No. Do you know who did hear about it? The Minister of Police. He said, oh yeah, I knew. I said, you knew, mate. Why are we here if you knew? But if the rest of society knew more often where the campaigns are and what's happening in different communities and what communities are trying to change, we could get more involved. We could help each other more. We could reach out before somebody dies, before there's a crisis, before things are burning. We need to learn how to build campaigns. So I want us to build a platform that can do campaigns for communities and also campaigns for individuals who want to get elected. That's why I said Faiza must come talk. She wants to get elected one day. But in the 2024 elections, assuming things go as they should, which may not happen, but that's a different conversation. It has been said that independent candidates will be able to run for elections for the first time at national and provincial level. But already at local level, independent candidates can run. Now, when you are part of a party, it's easy to run a campaign. You know why? The party runs the campaign. When you are an individual, I'll share, it becomes very difficult to run a campaign because you're by yourself. Can we design a tool that could help somebody who wants to run independently and create a campaign, get other people to know about it, get volunteers to come and help them, crowdfund? Same with the community campaigns. Can we get things where somebody says, actually, we're busy here in Diepsloot. We're busy paving roads here in Diepsloot. Are there people who are willing to come and help fund it? Are there people who are willing to come and volunteer their time? We want to create a campaign builder platform that helps people build their own campaigns. Faiza, what would help you in building campaigns?
Thank you so much, Tessa. Hi, everyone. My name is Faiza Locke, and I'm from Voice of the People Movement. So Voice of the People Movement launched in April, and our goal is to solve hyperlocal problems through design thinking. And I guess the one advice I would give is that by using design thinking is just a fancy word for saying that you're not your customer, go ask your customer what they want to see. And so ask your customer what their user journey looks like. So from the language perspective, I know some already mentioned that must be simple. So innovation, the word innovation is actually a very big word for a lot of people. So how can we simplify that? The word reimagination is actually a very big word. In some African languages, that word don't exist. So how can we simplify that? So as you design the user journey of your platform, think in the shoes of your customer. I mean, today we do have a few activists around here. Ask them, hey, would you be able to understand this if we were to create this pathway? Yeah, as Tessa said, the word democracy means that it's power to the people. And so how can Faiza pick up this platform and say, in my community, there's no one picking, there's a lot of dumping sites there, and there's no community building projects that deals with picking up trash. How can Faiza, as simple as typing something on the platform, say, I want to do this is a problem, can y'all come and be part of this? If someone else is doing something like this in another township, can I learn from you? Can I collaborate with you? How do you do this? And so starting creating a network where we can create the change we want to see. So thank you.
All right, anybody else want to contribute to that one? How do we make it easier for people to build campaigns? Any of the activists? Yep.
Thanks. I think for me, the biggest thing about building these campaigns and that sort of thing is the idea that we have so many people with capacity, right? There are lots of people who are capable, who can do things, they have skills, they have abilities, but we're not exactly pulling them into things. So even if with the campaigns, we had a thing of going, this is the need, like people who are able to help, please come through. And creating a thing of motivating people to join these campaigns and actually do things. Because often, like when we have community chats about issues and things like that, it's easy to go, this is how I feel, or these are the problems that need to be solved, where the campaigns can become actual active participation of like doing things and turning those discussions into like actions. And so going, even if it's just organized by geography, if these are the issues that we're having and these are the campaigns that exist, how do we then go, since you're so passionate about that issue, come fix it with us? And so that like integration of these different things of like, yeah, the communities exist, the campaigns exist, let's link them. Let's get people to actually put their like, not money, put their, I don't know, hard work where their mouth is. Yes.
All right, before we take some of the more of the activists, you have a question? Yeah. So then maybe you guys can answer it while you.
Morning, guys. I go by Maza. I have a question for like the activists, because what I'm hearing with like every challenge right now is it's basically you need a platform that's gonna bring the members of society and the builders of society together. But like as I'm sitting and listening to it, it's like the tools are already there. Like what you guys are asking us for is to create a social media platform, but then there already is a social media platform. Like the things that you guys are telling us, it's like you're telling us to reinvent the wheel. But like why don't we what do you guys need us to do that already isn't there, basically? Like I think, yeah, that's what I need to understand, because the bot features, they're already there on WhatsApp. If you need to do a campaign, there's a donate feature on Facebook. You can raise funds for your campaign. You can make ads on social media at a large scale within your stories of people, crowdfunding, all originates on social media. So what we need, like a platform or like a database to figure that data.
I can answer that, I'll keep it for the end as well, but I'm sure other people can add into it as well. Is this a queue? Okay, guys, you can come queue here. You're not
Someone, good morning. My name is Nothing. I think you have mentioned one of the features that I wanted, and I think that it should exist across the database. So if I'm competing from a person who has an NGO or from a person who wants to participate, I need to be able to search for people who are in line and could contribute. So I'm just going to comment for the last issue, which is the campaign. I would like a platform where I'm able, because again, what stands out for me when we speak about campaigns is one, numbers, and two, the design aspect of it. So when I'm talking about numbers, I need to be able to log in and say, how many people are in that area. Therefore, if I'm campaigning, how many people do I want my first target to be? I need it again to be able to monitor my movement as a person campaigning. How many people have I reached? If I go onto a geomap, for example, on the app that you created, I need to be able to see how many people have turned green, which are the people I've reached versus the people who are there, the people I still need to speak to. I need to be able to get on there and look at the directory of corporate who's invested in the issue I'm campaigning about. So if AXA has things in around education, those are the people I need to pop up in the first 10 in that directory, which then speaks to the stuff that I'm interested in. So when I register or I go to campaign, I need to say that these are my priorities for my campaign, education, safety, whatever it is, and then my directory needs to come
of those people who are in that. So I don't want people who are doing anything outside of that specific issue that I'm campaigning for. Design aspect, I know there's Canva, but I would like to have a tool that then also suggests hashtags for me based on the people that I want to interact with. If I've been told that the area is predominantly Zulu speaking, Tswana speaking, I need my hashtag suggested to be in that language as well. And I think those are just the two things for in terms of numbers and design aspects that I'd be looking for in that platform. But yes, database.
Okay, so I think for me, there are three aspects. First of all, definitely the idea of a database and having that kind of thing. Particularly, the one that it stood out for me was the voter registration, where we've got these 100,000 people. It's going, okay, what do they actually care about? Which parts are effective? So even if you're looking at the areas you're registering people, right? Which ones are we actually getting more people registered at? Which toolboxes are people accessing more often? What are the factors of success? So if we have some kind of dashboard that's letting us actually see what the effects are, because we're collecting all this data, let's make it measurable. The only way to manage a project successfully is to see what's actually happening, what the impact is in what areas, and then going, okay, clearly Limpopo is doing very well. What do we take from Limpopo that we can then do in Gauteng and wherever to make it more successful, right? So that kind of targeted measuring of the data. And we're only going to control the data if we control the platform. Because as much as like Facebook and things like that give you interfaces, it's not going to be the information we actually care about. So that's the benefit of owning the platform, right? And then secondly, for me, we all have WhatsApp groups, we all have Facebook groups, we have Twitter spaces. There's a reason that we're still complaining. There are clearly problems. WhatsApp groups are not it, guys. Like, let's be honest. So, as much as that kind of thing might exist, it's not effective and it's also very separate. Where you've got WhatsApp for this, you've got Facebook for that, you've got Twitter. Where if you have a cohesive platform, then you're able to go, hey, listen, these are your interest areas. We'll forward you to that. We'll direct you to this here. So you can harness those things. You can go, yeah, sure, we'll put it on TikTok and then have a link to TikTok, right? But if you're trying to manage TikTok and WhatsApp and Facebook all separately, it becomes a little bit of a logistical nightmare. And you're going to lose people in between these different platforms, right? So I think that's also, for me, the second benefit of having a platform. And then the third thing was very much the idea of control. Of if we're doing the thing, then we get to decide what the message is, what the tone is, what's actually happening with it. Whereas if you're seeding it to these multinationals, they're not caring about it. They're not thinking about how we get it 0 rated. They're not considering, okay, so if it's a township and people only have this, what are the technological tools we can use to make sure they still get updates? Because there are ways to make sure that people get messages even without having big data packages. And if we control the platform, we can control how people access those things. So control to me is, like I said, the third basic thing of why we need to do it ourselves. Because tools exist, but they're not it, guys. Like there's a reason we're all complaining about them. So yeah, I definitely think there is a space for you guys to develop real solutions. So yeah.
Morning, everyone. Yeah, so my name is Sato, and I'm a techie myself, right? So the moment I just like hear all these ideas, chatbots, and I just get excited, right? But one thing I really want to tell you guys is really understand the problem, right? Understand the issues that these people are going through, and try to like communicate with the activists and to understand like the problems that they're facing. And the moment you're able to do that, that's when you'll find your solution, right? You raised a good point that those platforms like Facebook, Twitter are existing, right? But try and understand why your users are not leveraging them and try to understand that. And as soon as you are able to do that, that will be your solution to your platform. Or you can also leverage off existing platforms, because I also believe that most of the times you don't necessarily to always have to develop an app to find a solution to something, right? There's already stuff that are already existing. So how can you leverage off that? And then that's what's really going to help you. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Sure. Hi. Okay. Okay. Sorry. so, so Chris and I were thinking about something that is really important that we worried about because yeah. Data also, like we're dealing with like very important personal data. So our biggest worry is that this might be lost or might be like, yeah, it could be a serious data breach that could happen. And especially when we're tracking registration and also potential votes, and also that like we need to also track like misinformation, disinformation, especially when third parties like corporates are involved. They're going to want to buy that data and leverage for something else. So that we need to protect this data and ensure that people actually understand when they enter that space that this is not going to be sold to third parties and stuff like that. And how are we going to ensure that it's protected? I don't know. Blockchains. Yeah, blockchain. I don't know how compu nerds speak about these stuff, but like how, yeah, make sure that you so ensure that people's data is protected, because I'm thinking of like Cambridge Analytica and like what happened there and all of that, that people's data might be used for something else. And also like some of these people, like independents who might have like ulterior motives also could use this to push and alter the conversation to a particular point. So yeah, so that's my concern.
Yeah, Vianney said everything. And also with processing people's personal information, just making sure that you keep it at a minimum, because there is obviously an act in place that requires a certain minimum standard of processing people's information and what information can be processed and what information should not be processed. So making sure that you keep it basic, but more importantly, just making sure that it's safeguarded. And exactly what Vianney said, that we, yeah, that the fact checking as well is also accurate. But yeah, I think covered everything in the minute.
I promise I'm going to be brief. They spoke about databases, right? A campaign really, one of the early steps that we have to take in communities is mapping. So the exercise of understanding what are you working with, where are you working. So as a young person, earlier they said, you know, you don't know where to start. You're going to want to know, okay, if I want to host a dialogue, where can I do this? Is there a church close to me that I can go to that has registered on this thing? Is there a school if it's an education program? Is there a hospital or clinic if there's health related stuff? So and a tool that basically indicates and allows us to then map that community and allow us to connect that with the person so that it's easily accessible, but also there's a contact in saying, if you want to do this, this is the person you can reach out to. So I think that's the kind of tool that I think would be very useful for us. Thank you.
I just want to answer a question on. No, come closer, don't. I don't bite. So there were two questions. One about, are we trying to recreate things that already exist? Let me tell you why. It's not about necessarily recreating it in some cases. It's sometimes just bringing it to one place and making it easy to use. Most people don't know what the different functionalities are, even on those platforms that exist. So sometimes just bringing it into one place and making it easy for me to see that it has those functionalities is something that can be used. But on the other hand, it's also about sometimes those platforms don't do exactly the right things, right? Or in the right ways. So when we talk about the WhatsApp bot, for me, the bot must be the last part of a process. Not my entire life is being run on WhatsApp. I live in about 400 WhatsApp groups. I want that not to be my life anymore. Please take me off WhatsApp. Let me do something else. I'll just send a bot to people on WhatsApp once in a while. But just relieve me of WhatsApp groups. As an activist, my life is on WhatsApp. I just want. But somebody asked a question about tracking people. When we say tracking people, we don't mean tracking them clandestinely. Please don't give me a feature that shows me where people are all the time. Please, Lord, no. I mean that if people grow and develop in their journey, if I've changed my view on something, I can come back to this space and update and say, hey guys, this is where I am now in terms of my campaign building. Or hey guys, I've now learned this and this about civic education within a community. We want people to be able to track their own growth and their own journeys, and for us to also see where people are. So if somebody came into the civics platform not knowing anything about voting, and then they register, there's a prompt that says, did you vote? And people can opt into those things. So I'm not talking about tracking people. Please, wow, no.
So I am talking about tracking people, just not in like a weird Facebook kind of thing. So and I'm gonna speak now not as an activist, but as the project manager of the Rivonia Circle, is that there are certain things that I need to know. So when we give, so for example, this is for the Democracy Builder Challenge. When we give people 6 weeks, or we give a community or group 6 weeks to do a project, Mina, as the person who needs to process imali, registers, yada, 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 I need that to be easier for me. I also need it to be easier for the people, right? So part of the thing with the WhatsApp groups and with the tracking tool that we did try to develop when it comes to the projects is that people just don't want to fill in a lengthy form about their projects, right? So I need to yeah, we need to be able to click to check in ukuthi we had a meeting today. These were the 3 things that came out of the meeting. These are the 4 things that have been achieved. Like, yabo, into that's just a little bit easier. I think also, I'm losing my train of thought. I think also I'd like that just for, especially for people who, yabo nje, if you are doing a project in Nqanqule, in the Eastern Cape, you have to go on top of a mountain to get network or kalash. So you need something that where people can update when they are offline, and then it uploads when they are connected to network. Ne? I was gonna say something else, but now I forgot. Actually, no, I was gonna ask Asipe because she is an activist in the rural Eastern Cape. I was gonna ask her if you are covered. Nazo zonke lezi zinto. As we wrap up, we're wrapping this part. If you are covered with all the features and the different things that we've spoken about, or if you'd like to add something, and then we'll close this part.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Oasipe Mkalisa. I come from Molteno, which is in the Eastern Cape. As you were speaking, there was a lot. My mind races again. So I was thinking about trans languages a lot, and not only in terms of communicating issues to the community, to young people, by using their own language, but dissecting bits and pieces of policy in a way that they can understand. A simple poster of what is democracy, and then a video that depicts democracy in a way that umntu waseMolteno will understand. So it could be an animation of what it means to have a school that has resources like that and how a democratic government is providing for such. At the same time, I was also thinking around resource mapping. There's something that we're not doing in communities where we do community workshops without resource mapping. So, for example, this is something that I did in my organization where there are many young people that I mentored into universities studying different types of things. And resource mapping means they bring back themselves as a resource and as information. However, communities do not know specific individuals that are resources. For example, if you want to create a business, back at home, they understand I'm able to do business proposals, business registrations, and all that. But I haven't been able to communicate it to the wider range of people in the community in a way that they know they can access that resource through me. Again, when it comes to network, I kind of feel like we often exaggerate the extent to which rural areas are underdeveloped. When it comes to network, young people, when they want to go on social media and all that, network is working fine. I stayed in the rural areas for the very longest time, and I had access to internet, even though network is an issue. The work that needs to be done in those communities also cannot be entirely online, your Zoom workshops, your whatever. People need to go there. So I feel like there has to be activist connections or umkhabulo imbizos where people are trained to actually go and stand in front of schools on weekends and all that and all that. So it's something that I'm thinking around, and the research that we also need to do in our communities with the communities. But the last part would be, how do we then create these platforms in a way that the community feels the ownership? We always speak about co-creation, but we never really co-create with the community. We bring the information. So that's another thing. Is it in the way that we deliver what needs to be done, or is it in the way that the community really expect whoever is standing in front to bring the solutions? So how do we then strengthen that co-creation? What does co-creation mean even within us, so that we don't mislead the community in that way? So thank you.
Last. Ulondiwe said, it's Mkanduli, it's where I'm from. Yeah. So I just wanted to maybe make a contribution around the policy question, because often we understand it in the context of government deciding what policy is. But policy is simply a principle or a doctrine around how you're going to deal with a certain problem. That means you must first understand that there is a problem, and you must understand how the problem manifests so that you can think about how to deal with that problem. A policy simply creates a consistent way of dealing with that problem. But when that policy does not respond to the problem in the way that it is supposed to, then there is a problem with the policy. And that may come out of the person who's making the policy not quite understanding the full impact. I'll make a very simple example from Kanduli, which I've made before, which is there were lots of stabbings at the taverns. So a decision was taken at the traditional council that taverns must close at 5. That's fine. The stabbings at the taverns went down, but the GBV at home went up. Right. Now, a cop might say, no more stabbings, great. But in terms of the community, there are other problems. Do the people who made the policy understand the impact of what's going to happen if you make one intervention without thinking about another impact? No. That means when we create an instrument, we must also think about instruments where you're able to see the data that you're coming out of the participation and saying, there is a gap here, there's a gap there, there's a gap there, so that we make that information easily available. And we are then able to ask a question back in the digital community to say, how do we close this gap? That decision, that proposal, and the agreement on that closing the gap is a policy proposal. That's all it is. So I just want us to think of policy that way, so that when we then participate in the democracy, there's a policy proposal that is informed by the real world with real people behind the click.
All right, let's clap for the activists. Thank you, everybody, for agreeing to be put on the spot. I think that was a lot of information. So to help the techies, just to bring us back, there are 4 videos that are going to be put onto the Sonke platform that explain the challenges again. The activists are going to be here, and I'm actually going to encourage the activists to join a group for the day. Join a group for the day and join the creation of the thing. So help with the design, help with the way in which the thing gets created. So don't just stand back and then pop in from time to time. Especially in the beginning phase, help the group with the design so you get the things that you want. Are we in agreement, activists? Yes, 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 yes. So if there are any questions, please ask the activists. Refer back to the videos or the videos we'll send you. There's also a template of videos that are in the videos. There's videos in the videos. So you'll see in the videos, there's reference made to videos that will help you. There is a PowerPoint presentation, a template, that will actually have the videos clickable for you to go and actually watch. They're all YouTube videos as well, so you can also look them up if you're having any challenges. But you should have a lot of information at your disposal, yeah? You're going to know that, yeah. Yeah, you're going to know that. Absolutely. So you're going to know that pretty soon. All right, so those are the 4 challenges. You're going to have to pick those challenges that you want to work on. We're going to have to create groups, and Michelle will take us through all of that. But before we do that, this room needs energy, because we're going to have a long stretch. We cannot be at this level of energy. Yes.
All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Misho Ngobeni. So we basically need everyone to be on Sonke, and on Sonke, you will need to create team channels. So Shiluba will be assisting with that. So all the activists, especially for the teams that are participating virtually, will ensure that those channels have got activists so that you can work with them through there. Sharp.
So while you guys are getting yourselves onto Sonke, activists will explain to you all what Sonke is in a moment. I want everybody to stand. I want everyone to stand. So activism in this country happens with a parallel thing. It goes hand in hand with a thing that always happens. It's called singing. Can't be an activist and not sing. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? All right. So in order to get us into the mode of singing, I'm going to start you off with, just a fun thing. Yeah. I'm going to start you off with a fun thing. Please, Mr. DJ. Mr. DJ. Who knows the Roboto Challenge? And don't tell me you don't know it. Someone in this room knows the Roboto Challenge. Who knows it? I need at least 3 people with me in the front. Do you know the Roboto? If you know it, I just need friends. I need someone here and I need someone here. We're going to teach everyone how to do it. Yes. Guys, somebody who knows it and is willing to help us teach everyone. All right, let's go. Guys, come. We're going to do it all together anyway. No, I need you to teach it. We need to teach it. Come, please. Come, let's teach it. Yes. Come. I need one more person who knows the Roboto Challenge. Buyani, I'm looking at you. Hi, Bo. Phoebe, I'm going to need you now because... All right. Yes.
Live streaming is on.
We're gonna sing more this weekend. Quincy's our song master. Just you need to sing. Quincy's the person you need to go to. All right. So, Misho, your hackathon is back. It's yours again.
All right. Thanks for that, and the dance moves as well. So we've actually officially started with the hackathon. What's going to happen is it'll be great for us to split. The first part is obviously that team. There are people that need teams as well, and then there are also activists that need to be assigned to particular teams as well. So we're just going to split. If you've chosen your challenge and you are choosing challenge number one, those online will also be with you guys to make sure that you're also covered. So if you're choosing challenge one, please come to this table. This is also with the activist. If the activist is interested in challenge one, please come to this particular table. And then challenge two, can you go to that table? Right, challenge two to that table. Challenge three to this particular table here. And then challenge four just right next to the camera. All right. Just a quick reminder on the challenges. All right. So challenge number one, which is this table. Sorry, guys. Can I have your attention? Guys at the back, can I please have your attention? All right. So challenge number one is Democracy Builder Communities Manager Platform. This is challenge one. Challenge number two is Policy Communities Engagement Platform. That's going to be that table there. Right. Challenge number three, Civic Education, is this first table here. And then the last challenge, Activist Campaign Builder, is the table next to the the screen there. All right, so guys online will also assign different mentors and activists for you guys so that you are also just connected. Just a reminder of how the hackathon will be working. Right, just a quick reminder of how the hackathon will be working. We are officially open. Sorry guys, can I have everyone's attention? We are officially open, right? This is a good time. We've run a bit out of time. This is a good time to start, brainstorming your ideas if you haven't already started. It's a good time to also understand your challenge. So to the people that will be working on the solutions, I know a lot of suggestions and inputs have been given, which is great, but also keep in mind that this is, we probably are left with 20 hours left before the presentation. So you cannot build all those things that were mentioned, right? In that particular challenge that you're taking, pick some of the features that make a lot of sense or the main features that you want to work on. Keep in mind that with this hackathon, there's gonna be a winner for each challenge. And that particular winner for each challenge will continue for a good 2 months with the RC, with the Rivonia Circle to further work and sort of like unpack on that particular challenge. So it doesn't end here, right? So the main thing is pick elements and features in your solution that can be done within the next 20 hours or so, right? Try not to build everything, chatbots, USSD, and because it's not going to work, right? So make sure you focus on the main features that are there, right? Yeah, so just another thing we actually didn't do, but I know some of you have figured your way out around. Just by the entrance, when you come in, the bathrooms are there. Behind this wall, right, on your right, there's also bathrooms there, right? And then we'll assign you guys to where we're gonna do the war room. So there are 3 boardrooms available where we're gonna be doing the war rooms. We'll take you guys directly to those war rooms. Lunch will be at 1, and then we're gonna start with the war rooms around 2 or so, just to make sure we manage time. Around 9 o'clock in the evening, we're gonna do a presentation session. So the presentation session is just to give you some inputs and tips on how to present and how to prepare your presentations. Midnight, we're going to have the midnight pitch. Each team will have 3 minutes to come and pitch their idea, right? The idea is we don't want your presentation. We don't want a PowerPoint presentation. You just tell us what is it that you're working on, where are you currently standing, what are some of the challenges that you're facing, so that you'll be able to be assisted with regards to that. Right? Any particular questions regarding all that? 30,000 rand is up. Yeah, I saw someone's head go up. 30,000 rand is up for the team, for each team challenge, right? This is now for the 2 months that you'll be working on that particular solution. But there's also cash prize for each team that wins the challenge for this weekend. So there's 2 pools of prizes that are happening. There's for this weekend. The winning teams for each challenge will have that cash pool. And then after that, each team that wins and goes through will have access to 30,000 rand. But obviously, there's things that you need to be doing within that period to continue working on your particular solution, right? So judging is going to happen tomorrow. We'll let you know about the format in terms of how we'll be doing the judging. Yeah, so there is also judging criteria. It has been emailed. It's also on this. It will be shared on the Sonka platform. If you need to access the different elements in terms of what's going to happen. But I don't want to waste any further time. I think now we can start with the hackathon. There is if you have a request for music to be played, please use the hashtag GK playlist. GK playlist. I know Tessa has already got a 4-hour playlist lined up. 4 hours, 8 minutes. Yeah, so if you do need your own kind of music, we want to make sure everybody is covered. Just do request that through the hashtag. All right, don't forget the hashtag from a social, power to act, hack. The Wi-Fi, if you still have any challenges, do let us know so that we can sort it out. Cool. We're good to go. Any questions? All right, now it's officially open. We can start then. Doesn't need a mic, this thing. Hi, guys. Hello. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Thanks for the heads up. So we are gonna cut off the live stream. and we'll continue activities on Sonke. What we'll do now is we'll just touch base with you guys to understand which challenge are you choosing, so that we can assign particular mentors and activists to you, right? So we are going to do that. If you still don't have a team, do indicate that you don't have a team so we can also address that. But yeah, resources like videos and all those things that they mentioned, we'll make sure that you guys have that. And then what we're also going to be doing is we're just going to be running some challenges for you guys online. So things like food vouchers, data, and all those type of things, just to make sure that you guys also have a good experience as well. Once again, apologies for the technical challenges. We'll try to keep it consistent and work on it. Any other questions? Please let's continue on Sonke. This particular live stream will be cut off very soon. Okay. Mandla, I'm not sure if you are sorted. They will sort you out with regards to choosing a challenge. Mandla, just indicate if you are sorted, if you are fine. Mandla, can you unmute? All right, cool. So no comments from Mandla. We'll take it through to Sonke and we'll continue from there. We are working on second challenge. All right, please just indicate that on Sonke so that we know which team is working on which challenge. So please just use the Sonke platform. And also, if you still don't have a team, indicate that as well so we can do a bit of pairing for you guys. Junior, don't blow yourself up with the chords that you're touching there. All right, guys, touch base on, we are working on second challenge. Mandla seems to have tapped out. All right, cool, guys. I'm gonna just drop this call here and then we'll continue on Sonke.
Are we sure?
You can drop it.
That